Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be trying something a little bit different today. As you can see here, I'm actually in Guild Wars 2, a game I actually have not played in quite some time. Unfortunately, I've been delayed yet again in getting out the second part of my Mortal Kombat series showdown video out to you guys, but I wanted to get some content out to you today of some type. So what I'm going to be doing is playing around in this game that I haven't played in a very, very long time. For those of you unfamiliar, Guild Wars 2 is a sequel to the original Guild Wars many, many years ago, around, I don't know, I say its peak was around, I don't know, 2005, 2006, maybe a little bit after. Had a number of different expansions, and I enjoyed all of them. Guild Wars 2, kind of in the same vein, expanded upon this original game greatly. The original Guild Wars, switch my build here. Yep, my young lady here did talk like a man, and I'll explain that in a minute. The second game is quite a bit different than the first. The first one, you could argue, was not really an MMO in the traditional sense. It was technically a persistent online RPG in that you would go into instances, and the instances would allow no more than just the people in your party, so you wouldn't run into random people as you're walking on down the road to wherever it is you're going. This game, more like a traditional MMO. Once NCSoft got a whole bunch of money from the original game, they were able to build a more traditional MMO with maps or instances that will support up to, I believe the cap was 100 people. So you can run into all kinds of strangers out here who may help you out. They don't allow for open PvP in this game. They do allow for instance PvP. They have world versus worlds. They used to have guild versus guild battles. I believe they got rid of those, and as far as I know, they haven't brought them back. But I've been out of this game for, I want to say at least a year, maybe longer. So what you're going to be seeing me doing is really getting used to this game again, because it's been a very long time since I've played, and I had some reasonably well thought out builds with all the different skills I have at the bottom here, but I've quite frankly forgotten what a lot of these skills do, and while I used to have all the different buttons and whatnot committed to muscle memory, I don't have that anymore, so you're going to be seeing me kind of relearning the game, if you will, but with max level characters, with max level armor, max level weapons, etc. So I actually have one character of every class in this game with all the aforementioned max level gear. I actually have two Revenants. So let me sprint forward here. Two different characters from the Revenant class. Just to experiment with some of the different builds and have some fun with the Revenant, which is actually what I'm playing right now. Playing the base build. And what I'm doing here is these handful of people are gathering up for a world boss, and basically what we're going to be doing is fighting the Shadow Behemoth. And the idea is you need to do a couple of small mini-events in this map in order to trigger the main boss. So we're currently here gathered for that. Usually people can apply a commander tag, which is what I'll do right here. Get rid of the grid view here, I hate that. There we go. Another commander in a different area did the first setup. We're going to do the second part of it by destroying all these portals. I think I actually have a shadow step skill, so I don't need to use my sprint anymore, but I've forgotten what button it is. I want to say it's 7. Let me see here. Oh! No, that's my rollback skill. This little bastard's going to be hitting me, knocking me over. You're going to be hearing me button mash a lot, and I apologize ahead of time. This being a melee character, it involves a whole lot of hacking and slashing. There we go. So that's the first part of the event done, and here's our Shadow Behemoth. Used to be quite an imposing figure to me when I was first starting off with this game. It's not so bad now. The main thing is you just want to stay out of the area of effect, so to speak, of his claws. But so long as you attack within a certain range of his head, you are able to get some good damage off. And then once these portals out here pop back up, you need to rush over to them. Either long distance or straight up melee attacks. knock these out. And then you've got yourself another burn you can do on the boss to kill him. Shadow Behemoth is actually one of the easier bosses. You can face definitely much harder ones further on. And I think what I'm going to start off with, honestly, to try to get used to the controls again, is I'm going to follow the world boss timer. So you're probably going to see me tab back and forth to desktop, or I guess really to my web browser, so I can check which boss is next. Once again, I used to have those memorized, but it's been a minute since I played this game on the regular, so I don't anymore. There we go. There we go. It's a nice burn on this guy. See if we can knock him out. You can see in the bottom right we do have a timer that we have to get this done in. Otherwise we're going to lose the event. With all these different bosses, you have the opportunity to get some decent loot out of it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not as profitable as some of the other parts of this game where PvP you can make more money off of if you do it consistently. Fractals of the Mist, kind of an end game section they had to this that can make you a decent bit more money. I used to love running dungeons in this game, but they nerfed the hell out of those, so they're not worth your time really anymore. Oh, I'm actually taking area of effect damage for running under the boss here. They're not really worth your time anymore, unfortunately, and that's a real shame because I enjoyed doing those. I did them so much I had it down to a science, and actually some of my older videos are on this channel of mine are dungeon guides. I did have plans to make more of them, but after a update, I think it might have been the expansion of Heart of Thorns. I'm pretty sure it was that expansion that made the dungeons pretty much useless for earning money, so that went by the wayside. There are some bigger scale raids you can do with Heart of Thorns as well, but once again, it's another elaborate way of making money, but it does involve a coordinated group, much more difficult than dungeons ever were, in my view. Alright, so you can see these red circles, the area of effect. This is what you generally want to avoid. That in his hands that he just smashed me with. You know I'm not using my elite skills on this guy like the Jade Winds to freeze him still, because it's just not going to work on the boss. He's got immunity to that. Once we down this guy, I think, you know what, before we down this guy, I'll run through my build. So basically the Revenant, long and short of it is, the Revenant is a both a melee and a ranged class, depending on what weapons you want to choose. You can use a hammer, which, believe it or not, is a long-range weapon for this class. You can use swords, you can use shields, you can use a, you can use a staff. Number of different ways to play with this character, which makes it a lot of fun because there's no limit to what you can do. So if you happen to run into a different type of player, you're not going to be screwed. Oh, you're not going to go, oh, I'm a warrior and I don't really have the long-range skills, so I'm screwed unless I can get up and close and personal to this guy. You don't have that problem with the Revenant. So it's a really diverse and excellent class in my opinion. See, I feel like doing this a couple of years ago, the groups would have been so large and so skilled that I think we would have had the Shadow Behemoth down by now. Lagging behind, we're going to have to do another burn to get rid of him. So in this case, what I'm doing is I have the hammer for moderate, long-distance attacks. I have dual sword for some up-close and personal damage. And they may have very well nerfed my build over the last year or so, because it's been such a long time since I played this game, but the idea was to get a whole bunch of conditions going. You want to get some bleed going, you can get chill depending on the skill, you can get torment, basically things to kind of drain your health in addition to all the critical hits that I'm doing. And this worked out really well for me. Really well in PvE, worked pretty well in PvP as well. Alright, there we go. Down goes Shadow Behemoth. Take that chest there. Take this chest here. See what we got. Some junk. Oops, let me turn my hammers off. And to further diversify things, we have different spirits you can channel. The Revenant is supposed to be kind of channeling spirits of major heroes of either this game or the previous game. So right now I'm King Jollis Ironhammer, a dwarf, which is a race that's not featured in this game at all. In the first game it was a race, but not a playable one. We're going to switch over to Shiro Tagachi. He's a villain in Guild Wars Factions, the first expansion to the original game. Let's go switch back over to Jollis, see if he makes a sound effect.
Ironhammer is ready to strike.
I love that part of it. Anyway, so with Shadow Behemoth done, I want to say the next one is the Shatterer Dragon. I'm trying to remember where the hell that was. See, I used to know all the spawn points for this. It's just been so long. I don't think it's Deathclaw Waypoint. Lowland Burns, that's the one. So you can see in the loading screen here, that's the dragon that we're supposed to be fighting up next. We'll do a little bit of a round of different bosses here. Let's see what we got. Alright, I think I'm correct in this being the next boss on the list because we have a bunch of people gathered up here already. Let me just Alt-Tab take a look. And yeah, so you can see here there's a couple different bosses or events you can do. The one that I would do next just because it's easy is the Shatterer. So we'll go back into the game real quick. So they changed this event. So it used to be everybody would kind of stack up on those rocks way out there you can see off in the distance. You still can, but for the most part people are now using these launch pads ever since they added gliders to the game, like that. Ugh, I could get another glider. That thing looks terrible. Since they have added gliders to the game, now you can attack and do some things from the air. You've got these mortars and stuff like that. They changed the event, and I know I'm old school. I liked the way the game was during its original form. What was interesting about this game is when it came out, this is the only major MMO I could think of that actually didn't have mounts to start off with, and that's because we had these waypoints. You're just supposed to follow ley lines full of magic, and you can use these to teleport around the map. You just warp back and forth. You have to discover them first, but once you find all these waypoints, you can see I have a lot of this that's not unlocked yet. This is a secondary character of mine. You can warp around the map with great ease instead of having to walk or run everywhere. But once the second expansion came out, they added some mounts, and I actually have one right here. Which to me, when you have these, it kind of defeats the people. Wow, I can't speak today. It kind of defeats the purpose of the waypoint, so I don't really know why they did that. I guess it kind of fits with the theme they have. There's actually a few different mounts you can get. There's more than 3. I've actually believe it or not, after all this time, I have never ended up finishing the initial expansion. Or not the initial expansion. I never ended up finishing the latest expansion. Heart of Thorns I got through. I kind of became bored, to be quite frank, with the latest expansion. It's part of the map I don't really care for all that much. I don't find it all that interesting being out in the desert, so I never ended up finishing it. It's something I'll probably have to do. I'll just get back on my main character and blow through it once. That way I can get all the mounts and whatever. But all these classes have different subdivision branches you can go into to change your character that much more. See if I can actually find the tab for it. Little training. Yeah, there we go. So you can change all these. There's a whole bunch of different subdivisions you can get. You can see here: corruption, invocation, devastation, retribution, salvation, blah blah blah. And the elite specializations, at least when they initially came out, the deal was supposed to be that the quote-unquote elite specializations are supposed to be equally powerful to the original build. So if you have a normal Revenant, you're not supposed to be able to get your ass kicked by somebody running a Herald build. Now I did unlock that. I did go through Heart of Thorns with all of my characters, and I had to go with basically skill point trains, we called them. We had to go through the map, go to areas that had skill points, do the challenges together, capture the skill point, and then we'd be able to fill out all these little boxes. What I have not done is I have not earned the Renegade skill points on any, or I should say, not just Renegade, I have not earned the second elite specialization skill points on any of my characters, except for my second Revenant. The reason I made a second one is I didn't have a character that was a char, basically one of these big cat people like this guy right over here. Hello. Anyway, I didn't have one of those, so I made another Revenant just to screw around with the Renegade build. And it's, you know, it's fun. I don't think it's all that groundbreaking, but it's fun. Oh, there we go. You can see in the map right here, somebody asking about the boss, another person telling you what time you should jump for the launch pads here. I'm probably going to go fight the boss on the ground. That's just what I've always done, because I've been fighting this boss and farming the stuff that he drops well before all this stuff came out. I got the game around launch. I don't think I started on the actual launch day. So tell you what, let's see how long I've had this character for. This /age. So I've played this character for 132 hours, 35 minutes. Not a long time at all, but I've had it for 1,641 days. All in all, I've played for 2,146 hours over the past 2,791 days. So I'm not a founder of this game. I didn't participate in the Guild Wars 2 beta or anything like that. I actually wasn't going to get this game initially, but I broke down and I bought a box copy from Best Buy, I believe, right around launch day, and I think I installed it the following day or the day after that, or something like that. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. I played it pretty religiously for quite some time. Love the core game. Heart of Thorns is good in its own right, but you know, the map isn't my cup of tea. I feel even more strongly in that regard about the next expansion. The I don't even remember, it was Path of Fire or something like that? I can't even remember what the next one was. Whatever it's called. You know what, let me look at my story here. Path of Fire, okay, I was right. Yeah, I disliked that one even more, honestly. And you can see, especially on my secondary characters, I did not go through all these different chapters. It's a lot of time and effort to get through all of these things, especially if you're trying to do stuff solo or you're doing it with random pickup people. It's hard. And I used to be in guilds that were pretty populated, but you can see now with the ones I have here, a lot of these people haven't played in a whole long time, just like myself. Got bored of it, moved on to something else. A lot of people actually left this guild. This guild used to be much bigger. This was a world versus world guild, as it says right here. So I've had a whole lot of people quit, and I think if I wanted to get back in this game seriously, I really need to find another guild to join. But I'm in this one now, anyway, just for the buffs you get from it, logging in every day. And I have a couple other guilds here. I have Dread Knight's Guild, which is the main guild I was in Guild Wars 1. I founded it and maintained it for a long time. We did some PvP stuff, a little bit of player versus environment stuff as well. In this game, I never did anything with it. I used to use this to get guild banners planted. Oh, it looks like we're getting our boss spawn in a second. Anyway, but I used to use this to plant guild banners to give buffs to everybody that was doing these boss fights. Blood Honor. I use that basically as a storage guild, I hate to say, but I use the guild stash to store some things that...
You fight like a natural-born dwarf.
I learned from the best.
I say I love that stuff. It seems dumb, but I really like those touches like that. Anyway, I use that basically as storage, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to invest some money into this game again and add to my personal bank so I got more slots to store my crap in. I'm definitely a pack rat, kind of like I am in real life. I have a lot of crap that I don't need hanging around in my personal inventory as well as my bank. I mean, look at all this stuff here. I have over half of my slots here occupied by gear. Some of it I just got dropped, to be fair, but a lot of this stuff I really don't need. Here, we'll start by breaking some of this stuff down, getting some materials out of it. Oh, seeing I'm already out of salvage kit uses. Let's see. Put all those away. Ectoplasm. Oh, I can't disassemble it, that's why. Alright. Alright, well, I'll wait till I get to a merchant. Sell that later. I have some other unopened stuff here, too, as you can see. I've got some birthday gifts and stuff like that. I have this little birthday blaster that shoots out buffs for everybody. Get some nourishment and whatnot out of it. I could also, if I wanted, I could get food like this, which will give me more magic find, which is supposed to get me better items, and I could increase my power and my health regeneration by eating mango pies and using these sharpening stones, whatever. I used to use that as dungeon food, so to speak. I don't really make use of it anymore because I don't do dungeons anymore. Got my musical instrument in here. And I do have some alternative weapons in here if I wanted to do some different builds. But anyway, let's drop this for now. Alright, well, while we're waiting, tell you what, I'll focus on my inventory a little bit. So let's get into that real quick. This build of mine has largely remained unchanged since the game's launch. So what I'm using up here is Berserker's Armor, Power, Precision, Ferocity. So the idea is to give yourself critical hits, make your critical hits really count when they do hit. And same thing here, Berserker's Weapons. In this case, I reskinned it using Jormag's Breath, which it's kind of an homage to the first game. We had Fiery Dragon Swords and Icy Dragon Swords. So these are Icy Dragon Sword skin. I think it fits well with my character's overall look. The fact that she comes from the Shiver Peak Mountains, the little blue Jormag's eyes. Fits together pretty well. I have a hammer available as a second weapon here. Goldish, sort of, to match the armor. And same thing, Power, Precision, Ferocity for trinkets. So just trying to make myself hit hard. I honestly have never really worried too much about the underwater combat, which is probably, I'm sure some players are going to get furious for me saying that, but I just don't care that much. I don't fight underwater unless I have to. Anyway, level 80, like I said, all my characters are level 80. It says here effective level 51 because I'm in a level 51 area. So this game will always try to be fair to players that are lower level. So if you want to take friends with you to help you beat the game, clear areas, whatever, it's going to level the higher level player down to the level of the zone. That way it's not unfair. That way the friend that's level 80 isn't doing all the fighting for you while you just sit back and do nothing while you gain experience. This game kind of makes you play. And there's definitely some grinding to this, but all in all, it's really not all that bad. Until you get to things like this. When you get to these mastery points, skill points, whatever, that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you're really going to have, my opinion, you're really going to have a guild to get all the mastery points. You're gonna need help getting all of them. I've got a decent amount, but I did not finish a lot of the ones from Central Tyria. I did the ones for Legendary Crafting. Anyway, but things to get me around. Lighting around the map, obviously. Haven't done too much with the mounts in here, obviously, because I haven't finished the Path of Fire expansion. Nor will I on any character but my warrior, I think. That's kind of my main character. But for right now, we're going to use this character, because she's good to look at, I think. I'm wearing Norn cultural armor, dyed gold and pure white. And that's it. See, this young man down here knows exactly what he's doing. He's given the approximate times when you're going to want to attack. To change things up a little bit, I think if I have time permitting, once I'm done with this event, I might see if I can switch characters before I go to the next world boss, just to keep things a little bit interesting for people who might be watching this video once I upload it. Let me get somebody with a scholar tag over here. I think I have one of those. Pretty sure I did. Oh, here we go. Shatterer's Landing. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna go attack this guy head on, because that's my usual MO. I do like spells. There's definitely a place for casters. Whoa, that hurts. Definitely a place for casters, but I've always been a sword and board type of guy myself. I really enjoy melee. Some of this is kind of coming back to me. Whoop, gonna get out of the AoE. Don't want to get hit unless I have to. Some of the skills out here are mainly focusing, as you can possibly see anyway, focusing on the melee attack skills. There's some other stuff here, vengeful hammers. Oh, let me revive this guy if I can. Where'd he go? Come on back down here. See, this is when you're going to want to hit him with the trebuchets and the mortars and whatever else. Whoa, that hurt. Okay. I gotta get out of that area of effect. I'm not doing myself any favors with that. There we go. Regaining health with that little heal skill I used. When I channel Shiro Tagachi, the healing skill I have actually changes. Basically, every time I strike, it's gonna help me gain some health. Whoa! Alright, I got knocked down. I swear there's a skill I can use to, ooh, I'm getting pulled in. There we go. I swear there's a skill I can use to get out of a stun or a knockdown. I just can't remember what it is. It might be the rollback skill on Shiro Tagachi's tree. I really cannot remember, honestly. What a thing to forget, huh? Ouch. Alright, let's get back here and get some health up. Ouch. I think that's what it is. For posting shadows. Come on. Get those hammers going, get some AoE damage. Ouch. I could try to add some stability here to make it so I can't get knocked down, at least for a brief period of time. You only have so much energy, mana, whatever you want to call it, so I'm trying to make that strictly for attacks. You can see the crazy amount of conditions people are applying on him, but there are some things that the bosses just cannot be affected by, and one of them is stuns. Using something like Jade Winds, it'll add on an effect, but can't get his vulnerability down. He's immune to that. Oops. There we go. He's hitting us hard. I think they increased the difficulty of this boss a little bit. Oh, yeah, there we go. Got to break through. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. Get those hammers going. There we go. Look at all those numbers. That's exactly what I want. To really see if I'm still effective, I'd actually have to go into the skill tree that I brought up earlier in the character menu and really see if they changed the way some of my skills worked. Because I bet you they did. Whoop. Come on, there we go. So I can bet you once they change some stuff... Okay, I'm not doing any damage anymore. Once they change some things, I bet you my build is not as effective as it used to be when I first set it up. Come on, there we go. Now I can target him again. Ouch. Alright. Ouch. There we go. We're taking a long time to get this guy down. We only get 10 minutes, and that's as far as we made it. I don't think we're going to beat this guy. That's a real shame. So this boss used to be reasonably easy. I don't know, I mean, this is what happens when the MMOs age and you change the different events that people commonly play. You really get a scenario where players aren't bothering with the world bosses anymore. They're harder to take down as a result of that because you're not getting the manpower you used to. They make the events themselves harder to compensate for the newer builds that work better. So now we're running into a scenario where we're not getting these bosses down in a timely fashion. Ouch. There we go. Get those hammers going again. Ouchies. If we can get them to the halfway bar, or halfway point of the bar up here, I think we can take care of them for the time limit. But we're already at 9 minutes, and we started with what, like 24? This is as far as we've gotten so far. It's not a good thing. Yep. Okay. Come on. Oh, that guy's dead. I'm not reviving him. There's a difference, guys, when you... Whoops, whoa. When you run into a scenario where you get downed or whatever, and it's only going to be a minor amount of effort to bring you back up, that's one thing. But if you're in a scenario where you're dead, I'm generally, in a scenario like this, I'm not going to revive you. Sorry. It is what it is. That's why my guild name is called Just Respawn. And WP stands for Waypoint. You go to the waypoint nearby and you run back to battle. Oh, come on. Switch your weapon. There we go. We're doing better now. It's quite a bit better than we were doing earlier. Oh, the crystal nodes. I remember these. Yeah, when you have these up, I'm pretty sure these invulnerable. I think there was a boss like this in one of the dungeons. He had like a node that would make it so he did a lot more damage, and one that would regen his health, and then there was one that would offer him protection from attacks. I think that's what we're running into here. Okay, looks like the nodes are down. Get to go back to attacking them now. Ouch. Oh, come on. I hit the stun break. See, look at that. That's what it is. It's the crystals regenning his health. See that? Now his health bar is all the way back up. Kind of, not quite where it was before, but pretty close. I might have to go stand by for those crystals. Take those out instead of doing damage to the Shatterer himself. Yeah, I don't think we're going to down him. Yeah, those crystal things, to my recollection, that did not used to be part of the boss when it was originally out. Whoops. Okay. Okay, we're doing good burns on him now, as his health has fallen pretty rapidly. This is just not working out to be fast enough against him. Whoop. Ouch. 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 Oh, we got him really close too. Look at this. He's down to like a quarter health right now. Oh, we're so close. See, here's the other thing, too. When you start to get... Oh, there we go, crystal nodes again. When you start to get to this late in the game with taking the boss out, if you take him out with just like a couple minutes to spare, you miss that opportunity to go line up for the next boss. It takes you that much... it takes you that much longer. You miss out on loot drops. And you can't go kill the next boss. See, nobody's going after these other crystals. You gotta split your efforts. Alright. He's back down. See how much health he gets. Yeah, he's already back up to half health. Oh, Jesus Christ, look at that. Alright. Throw on some stone skin real quick so I can avoid some damage. There we go. Come on, guys, burn, burn, burn. We only got 4 more minutes. Less than 4 minutes. Oof, God, he is really pummeling me. There we go. Get my health back up. I don't know, I like this gameplay. So this reminds me of the good old days. I was really into this game. 2013, 2014, whatever it was. I don't know I activated that skill for it. That was kind of dumb. Alright. He's up in the air. Gonna knock him down. Come on, guys. Burn, burn, burn. You're gonna make us look incompetent. They're going to be generating those crystals again. Yeah, we're down to 2 minutes 30 seconds. I don't think we're going to get him by this point. Getting a bunch of like nonsense add-on drop stuff that I'm going to sell to the merchant probably, or just deconstruct for materials. Good lord. That's a lot of damage. To quote my man Phil Swift from the Flex Seal commercial, that's a lot of damage! Oh, we're so close. Look at that. We're so close in getting him. Take him out. Come on. You can do it. 1 minute and 40 seconds to spare. No! No, no, no! Oh, man. We were right there. That does it. We're done now. We're sunk. You're so close to killing him. We are done. Yeah, these are not falling in a timely fashion. Yeah, look at that. He regained like a third of his health. That's it. If you guys can do a crazy burn in less than a minute, we're sunk. That sucks. We were so close to getting that. And I'm gonna miss the next boss, most likely. Whoa! Oh my god, I'm downed. Oh. See, I gotta obey my own rule. I'm gonna go respawn, because there's no way I'm gonna rely on somebody to... I'm not going to rely on somebody to pick me up like that guy is. Jesus Christ, look at all this. I'm not even going to make it back to him before the timer ends. Yeah, we're not going to down him in 15 seconds. That ain't going to happen. Dude, that really sucks. Come on, hit, hit, hit. Yeah, we're done. That went terrible, man. Event failed. Event fucking failed. Wow, that was awful. I cannot remember the last time I saw a group fail that boss. That was awful. Well, let me go see what bullshit drops I got. So I got my armor cracked from that, so now I'm going to have to go back and get my armor repaired.
Duty calls.
I could have sworn there was an anvil around here, but I think that was before they changed the way the boss worked. Now there isn't an anvil here anymore. Alright, actually let me see where my inventory is. 52 out of 80, it's not too bad. Drawing box, materials I don't want. Yeah, let's see here. Yes, just destroy them. I'm surprised nobody in the chat's complaining about what a shitty job everybody did. That's me included. I mean, I should have known about the add-on crystals. I'm just gonna blame everybody else, but that was a bad effort. Let's see what my next boss is. Olgoth. Oh god, where's he? Arathi, Hinterlands. Trying to remember what the spawn point for that was. I don't even know if I'm gonna make Olgoth because it's so close to the timer here. Arathi, Hinterlands. Where is that? Arathi, Hinterlands. Down here? No. Once again, man, I used to have these memorized at some point. It's not Blood Hill. Oh, there it is. It's up here someplace. Barricade Camp, I think, is where I went to. Tell you what, if he's not up yet and there's still time to run over there, I'm going to go on a different character. Alright, yeah, I'm going on a different character. So teleport back to the Royal Terrace real quick. Fix my armor and we'll switch characters up. No sense in making this video any more boring than it needs to be. We'll change it up a little bit. Repair my armor real... Whoops. Repair my armor. Alright, done. Take my commander tag off. Let's go back to the selection screen. We're going to do this blindly. Let's see what we can do here. How about my Elementalist? This is Nolly. It's my level 80 Elementalist. I spec her out with the Tempest specialization. Pardon me as I take a drink of my Mountain Dew. Yet again, I have not played with the new elite specialization you can do with the Elementalist class. Oh, there's my birthday gift after not having logged in for a million years. I'm going to open that a little bit later. Let's see, where was I? Arathi Hinterlands. I think that's where it was. Trying to remember what the hell the spawn point was for that. Alright, been contested. Oh, look at these. All of these are being contested. So I'll see if I can run up there in time. I don't know if I'm going to make that. So this is definitely an old trick from the original game here. Used to be a big thing to run to different areas. You actually used to be able to make a living in-game off of that, as a matter of fact. Probably should be on my mount. I just think I get knocked off if I get attacked. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, you used to be able to make a little bit of a living off of that, as a matter of fact. Because you could have a group of, I think it was like 6 or 8 people. You could actually start off with, level 20, which was the max level character, with some stuff unlocked. You group up with 6 people or 7 other people who need to go someplace, and you run them to the area they're looking to go. And once you get to a camp or waypoint like this one, they've successfully been run up there. Look at all this. I don't think they've... I might have missed the boss. Look at this. Usually people are gathered in here. Usually all these people are dead, and not in this case. We kind of missed the boat with that one, huh? This is... I do remember this. This is where the boss is supposed to be. Well, that really sucks. Well, anyway, because this game is different than the first one, you don't run people to different towns the way you used to anymore. The reason you could do that is because once you crossed over into a new zone or new town or whatever, your party would come with you automatically. Even if they weren't in your vicinity, they would get teleported to your location. Well, that really sucks. Let's see what else is next. Yes, that's what happens when you're too late with the other bosses. You get that scenario there where you're too close to the timer and you're not in the instance you need to be. Let's go to Brisbane Wildlands. Was it Brisbane Wildlands for the Fire Elemental? I can't remember. No, it was Matrika Province. That's where it was. And I think it was, yes, Meridian Waypoint. There we go. So we're going to go do the Fire Elemental here. Fire Elemental's kind of a neat boss. Not all that tough to beat. Fire Elemental's a lot like Shadow Behemoth. Pretty simple. I mean, the one we just did, and our group failed before this. Shatterer's not that hard. The issue is it requires a lot more coordination now than it used to, because you have to go get those crystals, which didn't used to exist, and you have to use the trebuchets, which didn't exist. And now world bosses have kind of fallen out of fashion, shall we say. Oh, this is interesting. They're gathering over there. Usually everybody used to gather up here. Whoop. On this platform. I think my staff is actually my main weapon for this character. I'm trying to remember what the hell this what this build was. Let me see. Yeah, I guess it was my main weapon for this. This is one where the elementalist, you don't really switch weapons, you switch attunements, so earth, water, fire, air, etc. Art, go planet. You can do other stuff here. I have a scepter and offhand, I have dual daggers, I have a war horn, so I do have some other options to screw around with here, but the particular build I have as a Tempest, you use a staff. Here, I'm a Sylvari, I have some stuff to match here. What? Pardon me while I strike you down with some lightning. There we go. I love the way some of the skills look in this game. Let's see if I can get myself up here. They might have prevented... There we go. I was about to say they might have prevented you from going up there, but not anymore. Alright, let's get my commander tag on again. There we go. Cross my arms, see if I can remember some of the old emotes I used to have. Anyway, I'll go over the Tempest real quick. So first of all, Sylvari, so kind of a plant people, if you will. They don't have elves or Draenei, however you pronounce them from World of Warcraft, those type of things in here anymore. Or ever, actually. They never had a race like that. So these are people born from the trees. Cool little race. They all speak with a British accent. I like them. It's a neat little race. I didn't think I would like it initially, but you get some cool hairstyles, and all of them kind of look like leaves, which is neat. You get the elf-type ears and whatever. You can get some really cool armors for these guys. What I'm wearing right now is cultural armor. I don't think it's Tier 3 cultural armor. I actually like the look of Tier 2 a little bit better, so I went with that. Staff. Got a staff skin to match. I think it's appropriate considering the color and decorations I have, armor, etc. So we're going to do that. Now let's take a look at the armor. And you'll notice a common theme. A lot of my builds, not all of them, but a lot of them are the power, precision, ferocity. I think I mispronounced that. Power, precision, ferocity, excuse me. A lot of the same trinkets. This character, once again, is not my main, so I don't have Ascended armor on her, or Legendary armor for that matter, using exotic. I do have Ascended trinkets because I can afford them. Thing with Ascended armor is it costs like a ludicrous amount of money and you have to craft it yourself, so I only found it worthwhile to do that on my warrior. If I played this game like this entire time that I've been ignoring it, oh yeah, I would definitely have enough money to equip all of my characters with Ascended armor, but for me it's not worth it. So for the builds, let's take a look here. What did I have here? So I put Fire, Air, and obviously Tempest build down here. So take a look at what we have here. So I'm going to be working on critical hits, so ideally hard-hitting damage from lightning. I'm using Wash the Pain Away and Rebound. Problem with a lot of Elementalist builds, including this one, is you're kind of a glass cannon. My health is incredibly low compared to what my warrior would be in here, so you use Wash the Pain Away, which is a pretty decent healing skill. You can also switch over to water, and you can use spells like Geyser, which will do some healing, or Rain. Healing Rain is a cool AoE spell along with Geyser. So if you combine that, Wash the Pain Away, Overload Water, which will give you a healing burst, and then last but not least, Rebound. Rebound reminds me a lot of Reversal of Fortune from the first game. Basically turns, it's similar. Basically Reversal of Fortune would turn damage into healing instead. So basically you'd hit Reversal of Fortune right before an attack that was going to hurt you or kill you, and it would do that amount of damage in healing points instead. Rebound is basically if you're within a certain amount of health, like right before you die, and you activate Rebound, it's going to boost you back up to a good amount of health again. So overall, I enjoy the build a lot. So you get the critical hits from the lightning. When you switch over to fire, you get some good burning damage off of this, obviously. I have the Frostbow, which is, was everybody's favorite for a long time in dungeons. It does an insane amount of damage. There's an incredible amount of area of effect damage.
I've lifted twice this.
You get some crowd control with the Deep Freeze. You get it with Frost Fan. Deep Freeze will serve as a stun for people, but you can also just slow them down with Frost Freeze if you get some melee person trying to come up to you. You can buy yourself a little bit of time. You can hit them with that Frost Storm you got there. Just got to be careful he doesn't walk out of your area of effect where you activate the skill. There we go. Drop that bow. And it conjures two bows. So I dropped the first one, so you can actually give a second bow to somebody else, and you can both do all those skills, and you do some crazy damage off of that. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, you know, the game doesn't look as visually impressive as it used to back when I first started it, but you know, I'm very happy with NCSoft and ArenaNet, the guys who you know, created this game and created this set of lore, this universe. I don't really have anything negative to say about Guild Wars, honestly. I just wish this didn't suffer some of the same fates that the other MMOs do, where people get bored of it after a certain number of years and they move on, because it kills your guilds. Besides the small roster I have here, I am the only one that's on. We did have somebody on earlier, as you can see here, but everybody else, man, it's been a while. It really has. So if I wanted to get back into this game on a more full-time or even, you know, part-time, honestly, with the amount of work, more part-time basis, I'd have to go find another guild to join. That sucks. It really does, man. Yeah, I can't count the number of MMOs I've had to move on from, for that kind of reason. I was a big fan of Age of Conan when that game came out. It was first ever mature rated MMO, and I ended up leaving that. Even though that was a fun game. The original Guild Wars, after a certain number of expansions. I'm trying to remember what the last one was. I think the last one was Eye of the North. I really enjoyed that. I had to move on from that after a while because I did everything there was to do in the game, and they stopped putting out new content because they started work on this. Ended up leaving that. God, what else did I play? I'm trying to remember. I never played EverQuest. That was a big one. What else? Dark Age of Camelot I never got a chance to play. There's some MMOs out there that I really would have loved to get into, but at the time I was too young. I wasn't having a weekly income where I could pay the $15 a month subscription fee. And that was actually a big selling point for me with Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, is both of those games, neither of them had subscription fees. You just buy the game and that's it. And you buy an expansion when it comes out. You give the guys $40, $50, $60, whatever they cost. I feel like games were cheaper back when I was younger, but maybe that's just the older me remembering fondly. But you give the guys money for the games, and that was it. And they would sell so many copies of the games and so many copies of the expansion that they wouldn't need to rely on the subscription fee. And actually, a lot of MMOs now that used to have the fees don't anymore. You see those guys in the background jumping up there with their little rabbit mounts, whatever you want to call them here, Springer mounts. I would love a horse mount, but they actually don't have horses in the Guild Wars universe. Why that is, I don't know. They have oxes. You can ride an ox in this game. And you can ride a dinosaur and a wolf and a manta ray and all this kind of stuff, but you can't ride a horse. Trying to remember what else. Oh, Warhammer Online. I loved that game. Took a break from that. That was a weird one. So that game, oh god, that game was heavily PvP based, which was fine. And they did have some dungeons and raid stuff you could do. But what ended up happening is they kind of followed the lore from the Warhammer books and board games and whatnot a little bit too closely. They had two factions in that game, Order and Chaos, basically just good and evil, essentially. And in the books, all the lore around it, the good guys are slightly more powerful than the bad guys, and they're on the verge of winning. So in that vein, the guys in the classes in the Order faction were always a little bit better than the ones in the Chaos faction. So if you decided to make a character and you wanted to play the Order faction, if you're a healer, you're going to be a better healer than your counterpart in the other faction. If you're a warrior, you're going to be a better warrior than your counterpart, etc. And it got to the point where they had a complete lockdown on player versus player. And the way Warhammer was structured, when you consistently lost PvP, they could actually go to your home city and take that over. And if your home city got taken over, you couldn't access dungeons anymore. So you literally couldn't play the game any longer. And it was a night in, night out occurrence. It was not a once in a while thing. It was every single night. So after only a number of months, I had a few max level characters, but I quit Warhammer. Yeah, someone's getting antsy over here. Anyway, it was night in, night out occurrence, so I left Warhammer, and then not that much later, they ended up killing the game off completely, which was a shame, because I really enjoyed playing it when it initially came out, but just could not continue. Then you've got some other games that I just never really got into. I did enjoy Star Wars, The Old Republic, but I didn't end up getting to the point of liking it enough to merit getting a subscription to it. I'm wondering if this boss is going to spawn. To make this boss spawn, you have to do some events further afield, and I don't think anybody's done those, so I actually might be sitting here for no reason, as a matter of fact. Let me see here. Yeah, I think we're going to miss Fire Elemental. I might have to go to the Karka event. Anyway, I didn't at the time feel that the Old Republic was it was a great game. The story was awesome. I think BioWare developed it or had something at least to do with development. So the story was phenomenal, but I wasn't willing to pay $15 a month for it at the time, especially if I had other MMOs available where I didn't have to do that. I initially felt the same way about Elder Scrolls Online as well. I do have that game. I did eventually buy the game, and I did buy all the expansions up until this point, and I think there's a new one coming out June, if I'm not mistaken. I simply haven't played through it. It does not have a subscription fee anymore. They rely, much like with this game. Anyway, much like this game, they rely on you to buy the game and the expansions, and then you can go to the store, and they rely on you to buy cosmetic stuff or things to maybe help you boost your level or do whatever, things to help you along in the game, toys, etc., upgrade your account. You can even buy currency, because that was a big thing when I was coming up through high school. People were usually Chinese gold farmers were selling gold in World of Warcraft or Guild Wars. They would actually private message you or whisper you and try to solicit money for gold. And then the developers eventually smartened up, and they actually either bought some of these companies, like I've heard Blizzard did, or they implemented a system where you can buy gems or tokens or whatever. You can actually turn that into money. Crazy amount of gems to turn it into gold. You can see there are gems for, $8,000 for $100, but then you can go to currency exchange. So with 2,000 gems, I forget what that works out to. I'd have to go to the other tab. You get 664 gold out of it. Actually, no. You know what? I read that backwards. You get 2,000 gems for that amount of gold. And anyway. You spend about 1,000 gems, roughly, you get 250 gold out of it. You'd have to buy a lot of gems to make yourself rich, unfortunately. I got about $1,000 worth of gold right now, which is not a ton. I'm sure there are those of you out there who may be watching this video go, amateur, and hey, I am. I spent a lot of money on stupid stuff in this game, and like I said, I had a lot of characters to equip, so if you figure I got 9, 10 characters, whatever the number is, it's a lot of equipping I have to do. And even though I'm not using Ascended Armor on any of the characters but my main, even the exotic equipment is costly. Oh cool, somebody's got the Matrix Cube key. This allows you to go face an extra boss after Fire Elemental to get some extra loot at the end. That blue portal that was down that hallway, you can actually kind of see it over the wall there. You can jump into that once you beat the Fire Elemental and go get an extra chest. Anyway, that's about the long and short of it. There we go. So what you're going to see here is there's a friendly golem that's going to come in here with a little Asura, those little mini midget characters you can see out there. And they're going to come out, or they're going to, I think, go through that green mist and clean it for a while until the robot screws up. Turns into the Fire Elemental, and then we gotta kill it. And not much to it other than that. The Fire Elemental obviously burns you, so you can't actually go run up to the thing and melee it. So if I was using my Revenant, I'd have to pretty much just use the hammers exclusively. But this being a ranged character, got a staff, got some good range. So I can use my Frostbow that you see me conjuring here. I can use my lightning spell or whatever. I might have to get a tad closer. I might actually have to jump off the platform to reach him. We'll see. I might be able to get him from here. Anyway, but fun little character. Definitely glass cannons. That's why I got the rebound skill and the wash the paint away. there's other builds for this too. You can do a fresh air tempest and stuff like that. And I can't even remember what the... Oops, that's not the right character. Yes. Hero, there we go. I was trying to remember what key would pull up your hero panel. Trying to remember what the other... Weaver, that was the other version of this. And I want to say Weaver uses a sword, I think? I think the Weaver uses a great sword. Anyway, but yeah, I would have to go get a ton of hero points collected from out in the world. You know, it used to actually be easier to get these. It used to be you could go into a dungeon and you could grind them. Without even trying, you would actually earn hero points just by leveling yourself up in dungeons. And I had a ton left over on my warrior. I think I had several hundred of them. But not anymore. Now you got to go run around the map, and you have to go trigger specific events and specific bosses. Sometimes the areas are hard to get to, or they're impossible to get to unless you go through those masteries that I showed you earlier. You know, if you didn't have that Springer, there are some areas that you simply can't jump to without that. If you don't have, if you go to Heart of Thorns, if you don't have the Knock Wallows, you aren't able to get through those. Ancient Magics, or whatever else. I forget which one it was. Leyline Gliding. If I don't get Leyline Gliding, there are actually some places in the map I plain and simple cannot get to. I think the only way around that would be if I had a friend that had Leyline Gliding, that had like a Mesmer, and you could spawn a portal in the correct place. They could jump down to where you're at and then give you the opposite end of the portal so you can teleport up there. I actually have them. That's actually why I made my Mesmer, really was strictly for teleporting purposes, kind of like a utility character, not really for damage. That's the only way around that. Unless you get the right mounts for the job or the right masteries for the job, you're not getting to where those skills are, and they can be a real pain in the ass. Yeah, this is a long time I've been waiting for this thing to spawn. Used to actually be quite a few guilds I could actually recognize beforehand. Now the golem's going to clean. I don't recognize any of these guys. We used to have some very recognizable guilds out here. We had the Mystic Plumbers, which I was part of for a while. Ended up leaving that guild because I wasn't very happy with the way some of the members treated me, or some of the other people there. Kind of rude, I thought. They were very good with farming stuff, though, and they were good in PvE, but they had no PvP credentials. There was Tecatl Taxi Squad, I want to say. Tecatl Taxi Squad. They basically we refer to it as taxing you into an instance. So if you had an instance for the Tecatl Dragon, which I'll tab right now. Where's Tecatl? There he is, Tecatl the Sunless. If they had a good instance going on with a bunch of people, you say, hey, you know what, we got 50 people on this map ready to down this guy. They'd be able to teleport you into that specific instance to make sure you get the boss down. And they got so big, they actually had a bunch of offshoot guilds. And those are one of the only guilds I could think of that actually could do the Great Worm boss. There's another boss. I don't think I've actually ever successfully beaten the Great Worm. Let me see here. Triple Trouble. I have never been able to clear Triple Trouble. I've never had a group coordinated enough to do that, because Triple Trouble is very similar to the way Shatterers organized now. There's 3 bosses you have to deal with, hence the name, and they require really good coordination to finish that world boss. So I've actually been skipping that all this time. Oh, okay, an IA. So I actually used to be part of a guild called Insomniacs Anonymous with the tag IA, and here we have a pending again. No idea who any of these guys are. No offense to any of you guys. I'm sure all of you are, well, most of you are nice people. And who knows, I may join one of these eventually if I decide to get back into this game. But I'm just playing this today for something different, because I know some of you guys are getting sick of my Division videos. So I'm going to change it up. We're going to get some other games going here, because I have a whole lot of games that I haven't played in a million years, or a whole bunch of games that I haven't played, period, that I bought, have in my hard drive, and just haven't launched them. So we're going to remedy that, one game at a time. As much as I do like getting loot from these bosses, I even think I might actually go through some of the story with you guys to fill in the gaps, because I've had to do a whole lot of talking while I'm standing around. And I don't think that's fair to you guys who actually came to watch some actual gameplay. You didn't come here to watch me stand around with my arms crossed. And the thing is, bosses like these, they go by really fast, because unless they changed Fire Elemental, they did not put in place any kind of requirements before you can start doing damage to him. Once he spawns, turn and burn. All you gotta do is hit him with as much damage as possible, he goes down, and then we're gonna go run over that way to the little mini-boss at the end to get some extra loot. And that's it. That's all there is to it. But that's an idea, you know, we'll do a little bit of this, maybe I'll get some footage of me playing Grid, the new version of Grid, maybe I'll get back to Need for Speed a bit. I should probably, honestly, do something with Elder Scrolls Online, because I bought the games, and I did make a character quite a ways back, but I never ended up leveling that character to the level cap, so maybe we'll do some Elder Scrolls Online. We'll see. I definitely encourage you guys, tell me what you want, tell me what kind of games you want to see. Really, the only kind of game I'm not really all that into is the Battle Royale type game, so you're probably not going to see me play Escape from Tarkov. In my opinion, that's an inventory management simulator, and you're probably not going to see me play Fortnite. But other than that, I'm kind of open to whatever, so we'll see. Alright, in a few seconds, this golem should blow up, and then we'll get Fire Elemental. Alright, so moment of truth. We're gonna see if I can reach him from here. I might have to jump off of this platform. Kaboom! Can I hit him? Oh, I can hit him. Nice. Okay, we're gonna cast that magic spell. Let me get off of here because I'm getting burned anyway. Look at how fast he's going down. See, now, if only the Shatterer had been this fast. Look at that. Already done. That's it. Now we're going to go run over here. We're going to go to the mini-boss. Couldn't initially activate my mount because I was still listed as being in combat. So now we're going to wait for that gentleman with the Matrix key. Can't speak. Matrix key to come over here and open this up. There we go, and we're going to jump in. Alright, let's get that crossbow loaded up again. Let's down this guy. There he is. Let's go get him. Boom. Loot the body, loot the chest, and we're out of here. Dang. All that setup work and standing around just for that boss, which took like 2 seconds to clear. Alright, I think we're gonna see what else we got going on. What else do we got? I don't know if I'm gonna make Karka. Actually, I don't really like the Karka Queen all that much. I kind of prefer the Golem. Tell you what, let's switch it up one more time. Let's see what else we got here. How about, yeah, why not? How about my Mesmer we were talking about? Chronomancer. So that was one of the elite specialization. So I turn my Mesmer, my normal Mesmer, into a Chronomancer. Changing the build up, I also changed your armor. I did keep the old armor just in case I want to revert back. Chronomancer, to me, the way I've got it spec'd out, it's, again, just kind of like add-on utility. I do not have it set up in such a fashion that it's appropriate for PvP. Well, let's see what I got here. Store the gate, birthday present. Get rid of that. Alright, let's go take a look at the golem. I don't remember even where this was.
Yes?
I want to say that's where it is. I'm going purely off of memory. I don't want to cheat and look at the map. There we go. Yep, this is it. I can remember it already. Alright, so let's... Yep, there we go. Got people lining up. Let's demount. And let's see here. Create squad. I like matching colors, so I'm going to make myself purple like my armor. So, Chronomancer. Basically, I just have this... when I used to run Necromancer in the first game, I used to have a build called a Well Necromancer, and this is kind of the same thing, basically using wells. Well of Calamity, Recall, Action, blah blah blah. And the idea is just to drop this on top of a bunch of enemies, get them bunched up, and just they're going to take damage from a bunch of AoE. Meanwhile, I can teleport to these guys, hit them with some sword attacks, and I have a shield, so I am able to defend myself to an extent. So the way I have it set up is either sword or sword shield. And let me just show off the skills real quick. Let's see here. Builds. Yeah, there we go. Chronomancer. But I do have the other build, which was PvP oriented, and that one was more appropriate for World versus World. So I'll actually see here. Power, Precision, Ferocity. Again, common theme, just trying to deal out as much damage as possible with the wells and with the sword attacks. The original build I had for the Mesmer was not Power, Precision, Ferocity. That one was a build that I found online that I really enjoyed, and I ended up structuring it around World versus World. So I had, critical hits and whatnot, but a lot of it was about, let's see here. A lot of it was around making duplicate clones of myself. Every time I would dodge roll, a clone of myself would appear in my place. So it would help to confuse players that were trying to come after me. I had a couple of cloaking skills. I had the portal skill that I could bring up. You can actually, here, I'll bring this up. You can see what I was talking about. There we go. So if you got somebody who's got like the Springer mount, you could put that on top of a skill point that needs to be taken. They can teleport up to that location if you get a Mesmer who has all the mastery points. I do not, unfortunately, but it's still useful for certain things like dungeons, which, again, are kind of obsolete. And, to an extent for PvP, whatever, I think it's more of a PvE skill in my opinion. But I have used it in PvP. I did use the portal in World vs. World a couple of times. Not Fractals of the Mists, the Mists in World vs. World. I've seen people fall off of the map by accident and land on a tiny little bit of a rock outcropping where they're not dead, but they can't get back up by themselves. I've actually, on a couple of occasions, been able to start that portal, jump down to where they were, put the portal, and we can both teleport back up to safety. It's satisfying being able to do something like that. Let's go put that skill back I had. There we go. So this character is kind of 50-50. A lot of my damage is done by these wells, so I don't have to be up close and personal for this one. And this is a character that's really dangerous, honestly, if you're trying to melee him, but some of my damage is done by the sword, so it's, you know, it's a mixed bag. I can do this on this character, but I'm not going to be as useful as I could be if I had something else, like either my Elementalist or maybe my Ranger, where that is 100% range-based. What the hell is that thing? Oh, that's creepy as shit. Anyway, we'll go mess around on the map while we're waiting for the boss to spawn. I don't remember how to get up here. There we go. Oh, did they... Okay, I was going to say, I remember being able to get in here. I wonder if they changed it so you can't now. You used to actually be able to get in there. You couldn't do anything in there. There we go. Alright. That was always a big part of getting around, seeing if you can find shortcuts. So I'm thinking we'll have enough people for this. You got people joining at the last possible second coming in from another event.
System link experiencing critical failure. Aborting evacuation.
Okay.
Tampering suspected. Requesting Mark II for backup. Mark II requesting.
We're going to come on over here with most of the other people. There actually used to be some crates over here I can remember that used to be able to stand on to avoid some of the nasty AoE attacks this golem would spawn. Just going to wait for him to become actually attackable before I launch any skills and like some of these other doofuses. Oh, there we go. Speaking of which, AoE, look at that. Whoop! I'd rather get knocked back than electrocuted. That's what happens when you go too up close to him, is you actually does a lightning skill. See, just like that one. And that thing will instant wipe you. There we go. Yeah, let's spawn a few wells at his feet here. There we go. Whoa, yep, there's a lightning again. Let's get that well done. Revive a couple of people. There we go. See, this is what I was talking about. If you get downed, like that first guy revived. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Okay, that was close. If you get downed, that's one thing. I'll help revive you for that. But if you're dead, that just takes so much longer. It's easier for you to go respawn and come back. The time I'm spending trying to revive is time that I'm not, There we go. There's one of my little clones. The time I'm spending reviving is time I'm spending not doing damage to the boss. Alright. Let's get some wells again. 8, 9... See, I could melee him. I think I'm going to be in some deep you-know-what if I end up going toe-to-toe with him with this particular character, because I have a small health pool compared to my, Well, yep, see, compared to my warrior or whatever else. Let's heal these guys, why not? There we go. And some more wells. Just in time for my elite skill to recharge. There we go. Yep, come on. Dodge roll back. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay, see, this one is only injured. I can revive him without too much of a problem. Look at all these people getting down. Look at that. Yeah, they're down. I'm not doing that. Whoops. Almost got dragged into that one. You got a minion necromancer nearby. I missed that. I missed the minion master build from the first Guild Wars. I don't think the minions are quite as fun in this game. Oops. Oh, you knocked me out of my healing well, you little SOB. Oh no, I'm gonna get zapped. Ah. Yep, I'm down. Time to respawn. That was dumb of me going in. Amateur move on my part. I'm not thinking like the 2013 Unreal, I'm thinking like the 2020 Unreal, and I gotta stop that. Oops. Good news is we're almost done. Like a few more wells at his feet. Oh, okay. Get those wells down. Whoa, uh-oh. Okay. Ouch. Ooh, I don't know if anybody's gonna come get me over here. If I can avoid him popping up those little AoE attacks, I can get myself up. Or if he dies, I'll come up automatically. There we go. Alright. Tutorial mastery. I don't know what all that's about. Where's his chest? Oh, that's right. I forgot his chest is over here. One of those ones that doesn't spawn on top of him for some reason. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and turn that off. See if I got anything decent. It is actually possible for you to get ascended weapons with this, but very, very rare. I think I've had it happen twice. Twice in 2,000 however many hours, I don't remember now. I'll get some of those. Alright, let's see what else we got on the timer here. Ooh, I might make it to Jungle Worm, I might not. Come on. Jormag is fun. Claw Jormag is a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work and does require some coordination. And some decent damage. What? Come on, dude, really? There we go. Alright, let's go get back to the mainland here. I'll switch characters one more time. Alright, let's see here. Real quick before we reach Jungle Worm, what else do we got here? Thief is fun. Ranger, engineer, necromancer. That's my second Revenant, which I expect is Renegade. It's really not all that different from the original Revenant, in my opinion. Guardian, Warrior. You know what? How about Ranger? We'll do the Ranger build. They do have some other stuff you can do with the Ranger. If you do like a staff build, you can do a Druid, which is kind of cool. But I'm a big Legolas fan from Lord of the Rings, so I like my my bow set up here. And a big meta build in the original Guild Wars used to be what they call the Bunny Thumper, where you would have a great hammer and a bow. Kind of a neat little build. Gonna head over to Caledon 4 so we can do the Jungle Worm here. I actually run a little bit more of an oddity of a build here. I do use my pets. I actually use double bows. I use both the short bow and the long bow. Let's see here. Create squad. Green. There we go. See if we can get used to this build again. There we go. That's not too bad. Torn leaves, why not? Strength of the pack, honestly, is a little bit more. Oh, see, I got rooted. Strength of the pack, honestly, is a little bit more for running from place to place than it is for actually attacking and killing stuff. It does help. I mean, you get the fury, stability, and swiftness is nice, but outside of my PvE, I don't know how much I'd really use it. Entangle's not bad. That's good if you're going to hit them with that AoE over here. The barrage Entangle's pretty good for that. Avatars are okay. Spirit of Nature makes more sense if you're doing Druid. I actually have another wolf over here. I got a Arctic Wolf. Switch off between those two. Alright, and we'll go over the particulars of my build really quick. So, same thing, Power, Precision, Ferocity. Power, Precision, Ferocity. And I did like this bow quite a bit. I actually wanted to point out the sigils on this, by the way. So the Sigil of Fire and Leeching, when you switch weapons... Oh, let's go get these Avatars of Blight. When you switch weapons, you actually do a little bit of extra damage, especially if you're in the vicinity of somebody. Leeching will take health away from somebody. And Fire Burst will be, if there's anybody directly on top of you, the fire will actually deal some burning damage to them and set them on fire for a bit, which is kind of cool. It's hard to get all three chests if you can get them. I actually see, to a reasonable extent, I actually have pretty good ability to keep up my attacks. I don't have any lulls in my attacks like I do in certain other... There we go. See, I didn't really get a chest off of that guy. This bow build, I'm actually able to keep up the attacks pretty consistently and not have any kind of lulls like I do with some of my other characters, like my Mesmer. If I was on my Ranger on the previous boss, I could have just kept lobbing arrows at him. Wouldn't have to risk the electricity hardly at all. Alright, let's go ahead and strength of the pack this guy. Come on, where you at? Give me a target so I can hit you. There we go. And just nail him with these arrows over and over and over again. Ranger was a really cool class back in Guild Wars 1. I really wish they'd bring back the interrupt mechanic that you could have, not just on the Ranger, but other skills too, like the Mesmer. Mesmer's, back then, PvP especially, they were all about interrupting people, stopping their skills. So if you were a Mesmer, the idea of a shutdown Mesmer to, oh, I got feared myself. The idea of a shutdown Mesmer was to basically stop the monk from doing its job, from doing healing. I guess on that note, I really do miss that as well. I miss having the monk class from this game. Thing is, with this game, they found that in the first game, you had a hard time getting a healer, both for PvP and PvE stuff as well. It was often you couldn't finish tougher missions without the monk, so they actually made it so every character in this game can self-heal, just like I did right there. So now, because every character can self-heal, they took away the real dedicated healing class. So you can make arguments about certain, if it's heralds or certain kind of elementalist, you can heal with those characters, but not the same as a monk. Why am I stuck? Oh, I got rooted. Right. There we go, almost done. What? Oh, the stupid husks. I don't remember that. I don't remember this at all from the other game. The other time I played this game, they must have added that mechanic in to make the boss harder. There we go. Alright, he is dead. Let's, oops, I don't want the grid pattern, I want to leave. There we go. What else do we got here? I think I might cut this short before I do Jormag. Jormag is up next. What do I want to do with Jormag? Look at all those conditions. Where are you going? Come back here. There we go. Let's see. I think I'm going to go back to... I think I'm going to go back to town again. Let me see this here. Birthday gift again. Free tree to chop down. Why not?
Strength of the pack.
Oops. Alright, let's go bring this guy back to town here. There we go, Minister's Waypoint. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do Jormag. I don't know if people are going to fail that one, to be honest with you. I definitely don't want to do Shadow Behemoth again. Might do Tocatl. Tara Covington was kind of fun. I don't mind that boss. Let's see here. Go to Character Select. What do I want to do on here? I could do Guardians. I like my Warrior. That's my main character. That's the one that's got the Ascended Armor. But I'm kind of thinking Guardian just for fun. I do like my Thief, but I feel like she's going to get her ass kicked if I go too close with her. You get some serious damage with Jormag if you approach. You really got to be a distance character, or you got to pull back. Oh, the Necro. I forgot I got the Necromancer here. You know what? I wonder what my build of her even is. I don't even remember what my build is with my Necro. I don't know if she's still set to minion or what she is. Not much in the way of skills you can really get away with using for elites with those, at least back before the new elite profession. You had like the Avatar of Grenth or whatever it was, and then you had the Flesh Golem. Yep, and then I got Flesh Golem. Take my birthday gift again.
All mine.
So what do I have here? Oh, that's what it was. So Signet, Bip, what is power? Oh, dual dagger. Okay, yep. And what was the other one? Axe and dagger. Alright, yeah, you know what? I'll do the Necromancer. Why the hell not? We'll do the Necro. What else do I have in my mail? Whoops, that's my bank. Filled to the brim, I might add. I'm probably going to have to go add some more bank slots. Let's see, how long until Jormag? Go for... Yeah, I'll probably do Jormag. Dragon Stand or Vista Viewer. Somebody playing Crazy Train up here. That's funny. The instruments are always fun. So a lot of my characters, as a factoid, a lot of my characters that I have are, I don't know, I guess you could say descendants or just straight up recreations of characters I had in the first Guild Wars game. And when I can, I have armor to reflect it. This is actually a, I think it was an elite armor you could get, an elite armor skin you could get over in the first Guild Wars game. I had this and I had tattoo armor, which I have not found in this game. So I picked this one, and that's what she's been running with for quite some time. But everything about this character is completely identical. Same outfit, same color, same hair braids with the same hairstyle, same rough look, same skin tone, pretty much everything. I also have, I think this is called Guile's Bone Staff or something like that when I originally had it, which I do not have that equipped. That, for me, is used for a different build. But I do have it. Let's see. I know I have the Jormag area roughly. Earthshake waypoint. Alright. Roughly where I started at. So before we go over there, I'm going to take a quick pause here. Alright. The Jormag being much more popular, we got a huge group of people up here. Looks like I landed in a pretty good end. Oh, look at that. Somebody even laid out some food to give us some buffs. Looks like I got a much better instance here. Look at all the stuff we got hanging around here, all these toys to play with. Roughly the idea is we need to go to the top of the hill over there, DPS the hell out of the dragon. He's going to fly in the air. We got to shoot him down with the cannons before he lands. Rinse and repeat a few times till we get to his get his health to a certain point. Then we're going to go all the way down here, and then we're going to kind of do the same thing again. He spawns some different mobs down here we got to kill, like ice creatures. And we do a few burns on him, and then he should drop dead. That's the idea. Well, that was the idea. I don't know if they've changed this boss mission since then. They may have. Now let's see what we got here. So, the build. Let's go over here real quick. So, they have elite specializations for this. They have the Reaper build, which I did get all the skill points for that. Use a great sword. I did not end up doing that. Scourge I have not got. That's probably something I want to try eventually. I don't know. You know, again, it takes a lot of effort to go get all these skill points on every single character. You're probably going to want help to do it. So maybe at some point. So we'll take a look at what we got here. So again, Berserker. Key reason is I'm using the melee weapons to deal a lot of damage. You'll notice, though, instead of power, precision, ferocity, we're adding in condition damage. And that's something that's important because that's kind of what the necromancers are largely about. It's all about the conditions. You're adding on bleed, you're adding on torment, a whole lot on this. Poison, stuff like that, weakness, vulnerability, all kinds of different stuff. And you're just stacking those conditions over and over again. And then, to kind of take the focus off of me, if I want, I can actually... Oh, Dragon Crystal time. I'm going to go knock those down. I got the Flesh Golem to go hammer away on people. For enemy NPCs, it actually makes it so I don't have to worry so much about getting targeted. Alright. That was fast. Excuse me. There was another crystal over there I normally don't make it to. And there's a third one up here. And then the dragon appears. I'm not going to waste the condition skills or the blood is power on these crystals that pop up. I'm going to save it for the dragon itself. Yeah, but you can do some other stuff with these skills. Blade Lance isn't too bad as an elite skill. Lich Form, that was a really common one at the time. Reaper Grunt is okay. At the time I was playing heavily, people would either use the Golem or Lich Form. But hey, you know, Plague Lands is pretty good if you want to DPS things. So even though these are melee weapons, I don't actually have to use these super duper up close. I can if I want, but I'm able to actually reach out and hit things from a little bit of a distance. I'm not quite as squishy as I am on my Elementalist, but I do have a smaller health pool with a Necromancer. Pure Chaos on the ground. And we get feared. Unfortunately, we got to use these cannons and stuff like that to go ahead and break down the ice fence up there, but normally I concentrate my efforts down here. I usually try to protect the people on the cannons if at all possible. Whoa! Let's go use some of these conditions. Stack these out of here. Okay, now is the time to use my blood as power. Now is the time to stack conditions. And a knockdown skill with my minion, because if I try to knock down the boss, it's not going to work. I'll use a little bit of my health stealing skills here. Oops. Put on some more conditions, put on some more fear. Look at all those numbers. That's the idea. Necromancer's a great class. I really do enjoy that. I'm waiting for that fence to go down so I can jump in and join in the burn on that boss. Ouch. See, unfortunately you get that chill skill that Jormag does that does a steady amount of damage over time. There we go, alright. See how that fence is doing here. There we go. Right on cue. So you gotta attack him in the foot. Looks like they've changed Blood is Power a little bit. I do not remember the maximum count 2. See, I do not remember that, so they must have changed that skill since I was gone. stack that damage. There we go. Off he goes. Let's see, did we get him down enough to go? I don't know if we get him down enough to go to the next level. A really, really powerful group can get him. Oh, okay, nice, we did. A really powerful group can usually get him down to this platform in one burn. I've seen plenty of groups where it takes 2 or 3 burns. That's alright, that's not bad. Good, I'm glad we took him out then. Alright. Alright. You can see him getting the shit chilled out of me over here. He's standing these healing wells. I don't know if it's going to be enough, unfortunately. I'm probably going to have to retreat. Problem is we got to clear these ice pillars out and get some add-ons that spawn. You got to really take these out quick and then go in for the burn afterwards. There goes my fear. Oops, I gotta run back up here for some healing, I believe. That's not enough healing to counter the damage Jormag's doing to me. I'm probably gonna sit out for a minute here. Once I go out of combat, my health's gonna skyrocket back up. Ah, just in time for the burn, of course. Out of range, out of range, out of range. Yeah, that's not working. Alright. Get this nice fellow over here up and his buddy. There we go. But don't ever say I never revive anybody, because I clearly do.
Time to do some real damage.
Gotta get back up here to heal. Alright, let's head back down. Wait until the time I can go attack his foot. You can see we got these bombers here. That's what you need to really break down his defenses. I'm gonna die. Okay. I don't mind dying if I can at least do it near a group over here, because at least if I'm in the group, they stand a good chance of getting revived. It's just like that. Come on. And I'm gonna retreat again. Alright. I'm looking for these ice spikes to come up in front of the robots. If I can just get them to drop their bombs here, then we're good. Up, Fractals' foot is open. There we go.
I could outrun a centaur.
I'm down. The question is anybody going to revive me? Because the smart thing to do would be to do as much damage as possible. Oh, that was so close to getting him in one shot. Come on. Yes, look at that. That is a fast run. That was really good. Took a while to get his defenses broken down with those golems, but man, that was really good. I'm very proud of that group. Let's see if I got anything decent off of that. No, not really. Nope. Well, filled with strong boxes. Oh, I didn't see the gold banner. Oh well, whatever. I'm not going to sell my crap here. Let me head back over to Divinity's Reach. Let's see what we got next for boss here. I don't want to do Shadow Behemoth. Oh, Chakotl's coming up. Chakotl you used to have to wait quite a long time for. You'd want to be there anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes ahead of time to get a good instance, because the problem is the good instance will fill up with 100 people, and then you can't get into one anymore. Then you're screwed and you get a crappy instance with too few people or people who don't know how to do the boss. How about Guardian? We'll go use my Guardian. Alright, let's see if my inventory is full. It definitely is not full. That, get my birthday gifts. Alright, let's go see if we can get down to Sparkfly Fen. Sparkfly, where are we? Fly Fen. There we go, Splintered Coast Waypoint. So to avoid boring everybody, I'm not going to be rolling this camera for a billion years. I actually did that with the Elementalist and a couple other bosses, so I'm going to have to cut that footage out because that's just way too boring. I got to get some action in here. Alright, so it looks like we actually have a decent little group going on over here, so that's not bad. Let's create a squad again, change my color up. Yeah, I saw the letter. Okay, that's enough. So ideally, you want to split things up. There's a group over here by this boat. There's a group over by the other boat, and your job is to get some of the mobs that pop up. And then eventually everybody goes into, get on top of Chakotl. Let me see here. I don't know. What should I, Anyway, idea is you get these mobs, you get these tendrils, you gotta down them, because they're just gonna throw out a whole bunch of AoE damage that's gonna really make it so you can't do this. Chakotl kills everybody if my memory is correct at the end of it. If you don't happen to down them, and then this area becomes very hard to pass. It spawns a bunch of nasty crap here, so you want to kill Chakotl. Chakotl also has given me the best overall loot out of any of the bosses that I've ever done here, so anyway, my character. So character was based off of a decent little PvP build I saw years ago on YouTube. Held up pretty well at the time. I don't know how great it is now. So you have here is a offhand with a longsword. Do some blinding, do some quick damage in and out, shielding ability, stand your ground to reduce or prevent knockbacks, save yourself and hold the line, which is going to help you with health and protection regen, renewed focus for a little bit of invulnerability, so if I'm going to be meleeing people, great to have. Shelter, once again, great to have, blocks attacks while you're healing. Aegis and some shielding. You got up here some burning damage with Virtue of Justice. You have the Leap of Faith, which will allow you to do just that, leap forward. You have an AoE attack you can do. Binding Blade, which is great if you get somebody in PvP running away from you. You can unleash Binding Blade, grabs them, pulls them into you, and then you can nail them with the sword attacks. This character, this particular build, I have not had to change this one little bit for either PvP or PvE. This build is usable in both. I don't have to do anything. Works pretty well. It's, obviously it's not the best build in the world, otherwise it would be the meta, but this is a fantastic build that I really enjoyed using in all parts of the game. Let's go look at my equipment really quick. So this is Power Precision Toughness, and the reason I did Power Precision Toughness and Power Precision Healing Power was to keep myself going while I got hammered on. The Guardians and Warriors are largely meat shields. You can see the weapons. I got Power Precision Ferocity and the trinkets. It's kind of a mix of stuff here. Because you want to make myself pretty reasonable damage. I don't have as much damage as I do in my Warrior, but reasonable damage. But the Guardians are expected to be able to take some punishment. So besides the shielding, besides a little bit of the healing, I got to have armor and some trinkets that match up with that. So that's what I did. And for the armor, I'm using Templar Armor. So this is, I think it's called Templar Armor. Yes, Dark Templar Armor. So this is something you can actually get from a PvP vendor in World vs. World maps. So I actually ended up going there, buying the armor. It's not good armor, really. I bought it just with the sole purpose of deconstructing it so I could get the skin off of it. Then I combined it with some armor with decent stats, dyed it the way I wanted to dye it, and here I am. And I have the Mistforged sword, which is really good, in my opinion, really good looking. Doesn't have a bunch of super duper glowy effects. It's got that little glowing line down the middle. It's got a slight bit of an effect coming off the tip of the blade. Good great sword. Then I got the Jormag's Breath, and I have a little golden offhand scroll that I'm using here, which is nice. But you can see I do have some extra equipment in here as well. I do have a Ebon Blade greatsword. Not too bad looking, but it's not quite as cool looking as that. And honestly, my favorite sword, I think, in the whole game, or greatsword anyway, is the Crystal Guardian. So I do have that, but it's my main sword skin on my Warrior. So using it here is kind of redundant, so I have that instead. Cobalt. Cool looking. Not a big fan of the blade. I like the blue fire. If I could get the blue fire on top of the Mistforged Hero Sword, that would be spectacular. But nope. I also do have the Dragon Hunter's Longbow. Oops. Not using it, obviously. And that's for the Dragon Hunter Specialization, the elite spec that you could get for this. Once again, this build has been so good for me that I haven't felt the need to do that. Nothing against it, certainly, but haven't had the need to go over to Dragon Hunter. I have not tried Firebrand, as I said. I haven't gone into any of these.
Hold this ground with us, you will have your land again.
We did not come all this way to watch the dead hold on to our breeding grounds.
We will fight for our young not yet born. Today, tribes that once warred with each other stand united.
Then man the turrets and hold the line.
Okay.
Together we cut down the dead.
Problem is, if, like I said, you don't get this protected, you're going to be in some deep trouble. So I'm really hoping this group will be competent and we can get some people over here who care and want to use these turrets, want to defend from the boats. There we get somebody who gives a shit to join my group. Perfect. Anyway. I really gotta get those dailies done. I've been procrastinating on those. Actually, I think they might reset pretty shortly, so it might be too late. Yeah, whatever. Alright, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna just pause this real quick until we actually get to Conan to come out here, and then you can see what happens from there.
Ready yourselves. Tequatl is here.
Alright, everybody. This is the big guys, Tequatl the Sunless. So we're going to shoot the hell out of this guy with the little turrets here, and then we're going to go in for a big burn. Once again, we're going to attack his foot. Because that's what you do with these big bosses, you attack them in the feet. Okay, you're not attacking the right area, my man. There we go. I don't like that burn too much. Still gotta get used to my pattern of attacks here. I'm not doing well with my knockdowns. I knocked on my ass when I shouldn't have. Come on. Once again, there's another one of those builds, much like the Ranger, where I get kind of a non-stop attack power and constantly firing off skills. Not really any lulls in there we go. Not really any lulls in damage here. I don't remember these AoE areas being so persistent. Might have been a change they made to the combo, or I might just be forgetting. Let me just go make sure our turrets are good. I figured with all the people there we would have enough to defend the turrets, but I guess not. That's okay, we're gonna make do. Oop. Come on, where are we going? Oh, come on, jump the wrong way. We gotta go over and get rid of these mobs over here.
Not enough energy.
Gotta protect the battery. Down those elites, down those other stupid mobs. Get rid of these guys. I'll do what my class says I'm supposed to do. We're gonna be a guardian here.
Stand your ground.
Looks like they changed a couple of these skills as well. Gotta make sure these batteries stay up. You lose those, you're in deep stuff. Okay, now it's time to start heading back. There we go. I should have gone back in sooner. I think my memory serves me. We used to go back in with a 30-second warning. That way you would be there just in time as soon as you landed. Ah, Ray of Judgment. I remember that skill from the last game. Oh, down he goes. See, and there you go. You got those Mesmers laying down some portals.
Cooling down.
Urge to Kill Rising. I love that Simpsons reference.
Stand your ground.
Gotta stomp these stupid grub holes here. Almost forgot about that.
Kill rising. Go ahead. Hit.
Oh, we got a champ over here. Oh, forgot about the grub hole. I gotta get that. You don't do those, the grubs spawn, and they can do some decent damage once they start accumulating. I think we're just about the point where we need to get back to Carl over there, so I think I'll run now while I still can.
Save yourselves.
There we go. With about 8 seconds to go, we got Takaro coming back in. Gonna be stacked in to attack his foot. Ooh, bronze medal. And a gold medal somehow. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Here we go now. Did I just lag? Oh, come on. I'm supposed to be able to dodge that if I dodge roll. Yeah, whatever. This is actually going reasonably well. I'm pretty happy with this group. We got a decent little group going on here.
To kill rising.
Dodge right by him and go protect this thing if I can. See, this is why you get that protection there, because you're going to end up tanking several people at once. This is exactly what you want. There we go. Got a bunch of people hammering on me, it doesn't even matter. There we go. Let's whoop, stomp. There we go. Grub hole. See, this is what happens when you don't stomp on him. That's exactly what happens. Almost getting to the point where we want to run back, but not quite yet. Alright, I think it's about time now. Let's vamoose. We're calling all these buttons here and there. See, I'm still not used to having the mounts. Calling all these buttons here and there, the numlock button being the button to run automatically so I don't have to hold down the arrow key anymore. So you can revive this guy. There we go. Yeah. A little bit of healing there. Bronze medal and a gold medal. Fingers crossed for the spoon. That's right, I forgot Takado gives this stupid trophy. It's a bone spoon. Serves basically no purpose. Alright, hopefully this will be the final burn here and we'll be done. Look at that, fast. That went extremely well. Let's get out of that AoE before I die. Chest number 1, chest number 2, chest number 3, and chest number 4. And there should be a big chest of loot over here. Ah, I didn't get to coddle spoon, I got a broken spoon. Oh, somebody got something decent. Wow, power precision ferocity rifle. Well, if I was an engineer, I might actually care about that. Let's leave my squad. That's all done. Oh, there you go. Somebody's got a ascended weapon chest. What else do we get in here? Nothing too important. Alright, let's go bring it on back to Divinity's Reach again. Oh, we're teleporting there. Let me see what we got left for bosses. It is Mega Destroyer. Oh, can I make Frozen Maw? I don't think I can. I'll go take a look at Frozen Maw real quick. I think I'm going to be too far out from that, though. Wait for foothills. I think I'm at the wrong waypoint, too. Frozen Maw's not too bad. Krennic's Homestead waypoint, that's the one I want. Frozen Maw's a decent little boss. I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, I did. Okay, looks like I did make it in time. I actually have gotten an Ascended chest from Frozen Maw before. I think it was my first ever Ascended chest. Anyway, this one's actually pretty easy. He does put out some AoE damage. That can be pretty significant. So actually a ranged attacker's pretty good. You can sit right on top of him. I think with the Guardian I should have the healing and protection skills to deal with it. But anyway, I think I'll probably see if I can do this boss and call it a wrap. I've been at this for a little while and I could probably use some food. And I'm sure all of you could use a break. Pardon me. World Boss Hunters. Yeah, that would have been cool back in the days where it made you some money. I actually get World Boss materials for crafting Ascended Armor that I throw away, like this Dragonite ore, because I just have too much of it. I gotta get rid of it, because it just takes up space in my inventory. Alright, there we go. So we got Scholar Brogan. So the idea is we're going to walk Hollywood Hulk Brogan over there. Going to walk him over. He's going to perform some little mini ritual, and then Frozen Maw is going to appear up here, and then we can start beating on him. Looks like I still got my nourishment and the banner from the last boss, so maybe that'll last until we kill the Frozen Maw. Oh, good lord. Oh, somebody's got some Harpy Love Potion activated. So he's going to activate this little statue here. Guy's going to appear on the platform, and I'm going to start swinging. Okay, down the Dragon Totem. Alright, Frozen Maw time. Y'all ready for this? Got a very unimposing figure coming out here. Oh, that's right, you know, I forgot. There is another step. We got these portals coming out here. I forgot about that completely. We got portals that spawn over here that we gotta hack and slash.
We have to interrupt the ritual.
Yeah.
Stand back, Untitled.
There we go. Whoops. Okay, now that those are all done, now we get Frozen Maw. Yeah, we're just gonna wail on him. At least this boss is a little bit more straightforward, where you just kind of stand here and make sure not to stand in his AoE, and you just wail on him. So at least there's that. Better boss for beginners. But you still get the people that die now and again, like the one who was just underneath me. And pop some healing skills, not because I need them, but it'll help out the people around me. Why not? That's why. I gotta say, normally when I play this type of game, I'd actually be listening to some black metal, death metal music, stuff like that, but copyright reasons I cannot, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to imagine. I actually have problems even using the in-game music, especially if the game developers make a soundtrack out of it. I actually got a, not a copyright strike, but I got a email notifying me of a possible copyright issue on one of my Halo videos. There's some music from the game played in the background, but why wouldn't it? Oops. Oh, I'm getting hit. I'm actually getting hit. Look at that. Let's take care of that, make myself invulnerable for a bit. There we go. Let's heal myself some more. Yeah, that's pretty painful, no doubt about that. Wish to stand your ground would last a little bit longer. And get my heal skill to pop. There we go. Yeah, I don't care about your stomp. There we go, well done. Not too shabby. Alright, see what we got here. Mega Destroyer is next. Well, as much as I'd like to keep running the boss train, that's going to make for an insanely long video, and it's also going to make for a scenario where I have to go to bed and not get any dinner. Yeah, I do need to go to work at some point. Let me head back over to the main town here. We'll go over to Divinity's Reach again. Alright, for those of y'all who stuck with me here, I really appreciate you sticking with me and watching the video. This is just an experiment today. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing Guild Wars 2 videos, but if you like the content, I definitely will. I do like this game. Like I said, this is definitely one of my all-time favorite series. And Guild Wars 2 specifically is actually... Oh, yeah, fire. Nobody likes bonfires. Get a magic find boost out of it, which would be useful if I was going to a dungeon, but I'm not. Anyway, one of my favorite series here, and overall one of my favorite games. Like I said, I really don't have really too much negative to say about the Guild Wars series. Provided me with a lot of entertainment over the years. Some annoyances. Most of those come from the people playing it, though, not the actual game itself. So, overall, I'm a big fan. Can't say enough good things about it. And if you guys are looking for easy to get into MMO, doesn't require a ton of in-game purchases like you might find with, you know, your Star Wars or your Elder Scrolls, to an extent anyway. Your Rifts, stuff like that. I would definitely recommend Guild Wars 2 to you. And I'm sure at this point the core game is going to be selling for a lot less than it used to. I bought everything at full price, and I would say it was all worth every penny each and every time. Anyway, but I'm going to end the stream there. I appreciate you all sticking with me. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video you saw today and you want to see some more content like it, or some other content. If you like anything else, medium armor sucks. If you'd like to see anything else besides this kind of video, let me know in the comments. I plan on doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Because as much as I like playing The Division 2, I'm sure posting 3-4 videos of it in a row is getting old. So we're going to try some different games and experiment here, see what we can find. But until next time, I'm Unreal, and you just watched a stream with an average gamer. Thanks for watching.